Hey, this is Chris Johnson, again with PSC Group. Welcome to part 2 of A Day in the Life of Office 365. We're going to pick it right up with securely sharing business intelligence dashboards.
So I mentioned I also interact with our sales team. When we do our sprint planning, we do a lot of forecasting. We talk about specific resources. So it's not something that we want necessarily open to the entire company. So you can see it's got a little lock icon next to it. And if I look at the sprint planning channel, I have a dashboard that I've created. This is a Power BI report that I've published and is being consumed by everyone on my sales team. Not only are they able to see it here as part of this team, but they're actually emailed a summary of this report every couple of days, and the data is automatically refreshed every night and every morning at 8 o'clock. Now, we actually create a channel for every client or prospect that we have in our pipeline, and then within that channel, we create a folder for every opportunity that we have. So I created a fictional client called Fabricam, and I created an opportunity for an Office 365 roadmap, which, by the way, is something that we do. Now, part of working with the sales team is I do a lot of estimating. And so I actually wrote a bot that interacts with teams to help me build these estimates. I'm using a platform called AppBot to build this bot. And I'm going to go over to the AppBot, and I'm just going to say, hey, I want to create an estimate. It already knows that it's looking to create an estimate in one of these client channels. So I'm going to give it the name and say I want to create an estimate for Fabricam, and I want to do it for the Office 365 roadmap opportunity. So in this case, I'm actually using an interactive card that allows me to choose the Office 365 roadmap. And then it's saying, hey, do you want to create the estimate here? I'm going to say, yep, I want to create it. So it's going to go out and it's going to copy the source document. It's going to create that estimate over in the folder. It's even going to send me a link to the estimate so I can open it up. So here's our standard estimate file where we are able to outline a budget. And it defaults to a bunch of values. And now I can just go in and plug in the values that apply to this project. And I'm well on my way to delivering the estimate to the client. Now, this isn't very realistic right now because none of us are leaving our homes. But a lot of times I need to do work on the go. And often that means without an internet connection. So what I can do is actually open this up in SharePoint. And I'm going to go one level up. And this is all the documents for my entire sales team. And I'm just going to hit sync. Now if I go open this up in Windows Explorer, you'll see that I have the entire sales documents library here. And I've got a little cloud icon next to each one of them. That means that the file is available to me, but it's not available offline. So what I might want to do is say, I'm going to go work on this Fabricam opportunity. Before I get on the plane, I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to say, always keep on this device. Now I can get at that file anytime I need to, and if it's updated offline, as soon as I get back online, it'll synchronize my changes with anyone else who's updated it. Now, one more thing that I do for PSC is I work on project teams. And my project teams don't just involve PSC, they also involve our clients. So for every project that we stand up, we create a team. And we invite our PSC team members to it, as well as our client team members. So I'm going to open up a team that we're working on right now. Since we're doing this project Agile, we're using Azure DevOps, but we're actually using our client's Azure DevOps tenant, not ours. So I was able to pin that as a tab over here in Teams. And I'm using two-factor authentication to log into their Azure DevOps, and I can actually see the storyboard right here in Teams. Another thing that I can do is I can have a private chat with some of my team members, because not every conversation needs to go in front of a client. Here's a conversation that I'm having with some of my team members on another project. And just like Teams, private conversations can also have tabs. I'm doing some user experience work, so I created a tab for our mockups. In this case, we're mocking up some SharePoint custom development work that we're doing.
So that was a day in the life of a user in Office 365. I sent some organizational communication with Stream and SharePoint. I collaborated with my teammates in Teams and Office. I shared some analytics with my sales team. And I even wrote a bot to directly interact with Teams with Microsoft Flow that auto-generated a document. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what Office 365 has to offer, and in future videos in this series, I'm going to dive deeper into the 4 pillars of the modern workplace. So until then, stay safe, and we'll talk again soon.